Nick Rudder from McKee's37.com. It's a Sunday evening in South Florida, and it's been raining all weekend. I have not had a chance to wash my daily driver yet. The rain finally subsided, and I checked the forecast. The rain clouds are gone. The car is wet. It's about a half hour before dinner. I want to get it clean for the week before I sit down for a tasty meal. So I want to show you a unique way to quickly wash your vehicle while taking advantage of the rainwater that's present from the clouds above. So a rinseless wash does not involve a hose or a free-flowing source of water. Basically what you do is you have a solution, you have a bucket, a grit guard, a big gold sponge, and you wash a panel or two at a time, and then you dry it with a microfiber towel. So our SiO2 ceramic rinseless wash, it's hyper concentrated. It's going to lubricate the surface, encapsulate the dirt, while also depositing some ceramic polymers that'll greatly enhance the gloss. And it's packaged in this really nifty bottle that has the built-in measuring cup. So the dilution is 1 ounce for every 3 gallons of water. So I have a tick more than 3 gallons of water in there. And you just squeeze it. That's a little too much, but that's okay. I get a good discount at McKee's. Then you fill it up, put the cap back on, use my grit guard. And the way the grit guard works is after you wash a panel, you take your big gold sponge, which has these innovative cross-cut slit design so dirt and grime gets caught in there versus staying on the face of the sponge, and you agitate it across the face of the grit guard. The dirt and the grit falls, and then the fins here prevent it from swirling back up in your wash bucket so you don't contaminate your clean water. Take this guy, just stir it up, and of course I have my Carolina detailing cart, which is something that we developed. It's the perfect height. I'm not bending down over and over again to dunk my big gold sponge. Take this guy, let it soak for a second, and then it's good practice with a rinseless wash to have a solution mixed at waterless wash dilution, which is ½ an ounce for every 22 ounces of water. So this is a 32 ounce bottle. I've got about 3/4 of an ounce, give or take, and this just adds additional lubrication. Take it, you just saturate the paint, and this acts as a pre-treatment, and essentially it's going to help wet the surface even more, because the goal with the rinseless wash, or with any wash for that matter, is lubrication. You want lots and lots of lube. The more lube, the better. That way you don't scratch your paint. And I'll normally pre-treat a few panels at a time. And then I'll take my big gold sponge. And one thing I've learned 10 years doing this is that there's 1,000,001 different ways to wash your car, clean your tires, dust your air vents, and there's all these different pet names for who created this method or who created this method. And often you see these processes and you're intimidated if you don't do it exactly by the book. Well, I throw all that crap out the window, keep it simple. I try and minimize the unnecessary stress of washing your car or cleaning your wheels or dressing your tires, and I just try and keep it simple. My big gold sponge, this is called the Nick Rudder method, by the way, just kidding. And I'm gonna wring out some of it, but not all of it, because I wanna have lots of lubrication in there. And I'm simply going to go across the surface gently. And my car is in relatively good shape, so I regularly apply Hydro Blue Pro when I do a traditional wash. So it's not like you're trying to sand away the contaminants. You're just going back and forth a few times and it loosens the dirt and grit. Now everyone has their own way of doing this. Some guys will only wash the upper half and leave the bottom for later. Some guys will start at the top, work their way down. I just go for whatever panel that I feel like washing first. So there's no hardcore science with the way I do it. But I tend to like washing each panel. And this sponge has, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 8 sides that you can work with. And the cross-cut grooves, the slots, keep the dirt trapped in there. So scratching the paint, it's really not going to happen if you take your time. But one thing I like to do is after I complete a panel, I will agitate the wash sponge in the bottom of the grit guard. I'll do a door now. So I guess you could say I like to go panel by panel. I do the entire panel, and you can just see how well that works. Taking all that dirt and grime off. You know, this is a white daily driver. It's not a concours show car, which I wouldn't do a rinseless wash on a concours show car anyway. So I keep it simple. I do it quickly. Since I have Hydro Blue Pro on here, the dirt and grime is released very easily. You can see it there on the big gold sponge. And with the SiO2 Rinseless wash, it releases the dirt and grit from the sponge. Since the sun is actually behind the clouds right now, I'm not concerned about drying the panels right away. If the sun were out, I would wash a panel or two and then immediately dry it. But I'm not really going to do that because this way is faster. And the big gold sponge, it's actually something that we developed with Lake Country. It's exclusive to McKee's 37. It's made in USA. The folks in Wisconsin, they're a big fan of cheese and quality foam products. They make fantastic buffing pads for us. Our Redline series, the big gold sponge, great company to deal with. So over here, and I just realized I did not pre-treat this section, but not the end of the world. I washed the car a week ago. But otherwise, it's pretty much like a traditional wash, except there's no suds. And after I'll do this top of the door, I'll flip the sponge over and I'll use that side for the bottom. And rinseless washes, in my opinion, this is their best application. I don't use it for something that hasn't been washed in weeks or even months. They work for that, they're safe for that. But for me, there's just too much thinking involved. That's when I'll do a traditional wash. But if you have no choice, or you live somewhere with water restrictions, or in an apartment complex, then these are perfect. And I already pre-treated the hood. And after this, I will dry the panel to show you how easily it dries. Go over here. And the big gold sponge, it holds a ton of solution, so as I go, I'm squeezing more out just for additional lubrication. And for the glass, I'm really not worried about scratching the glass or marring it, so I don't really redunk it. I just go over it real fast. Again, this vehicle is well maintained, and the sun is actually starting to come out. Got that there. Not my mirror. I will dunk this just for the mirror. I don't want you keyboard cowboys tearing me apart because I washed my black mirror without reloading my sponge. And I'll do the side windows real quick. And then I'm going to dry everything I've washed so far. It's what I call the wild man rinseless wash technique. Simple, fast, effective, gets the job done. Now, a lot of you guys like to use a drying aid for a rinseless wash, and I'm a fan of that. That works really well. So what I'll actually do is the solution I use to pre-treat it, this can also be my drying aid. It's going to enhance the gloss. It's going to add even more slickness. So just a few sprays is all that's needed. And the ceramic rinseless wash, the SiO2 formula, smells fantastic. One of our best smelling products. Got my Glacier 1100. And just come on in, I want you to see how easily this dries. Just, I mean, when you watch this on YouTube, you'll see I just did one pass and it's already dry. Now you see the door here. And check this out. Got my Glacier 1100, brand new towel. Another McKee's exclusive. Boom, look at that, one pass, it's dry. Unbelievable. Again, down there, watch this. We've all dealt with streaks and smears and subpar towels and crappy rinseless washes. Well, when you're using these products in conjunction with each other, it's a top tier performance. You're gonna get fantastic performance. It makes washing your car fun. And you can get as scientific as you want, which some of you do, And that's okay, but I don't. And even the glass, check the glass out. And I'm still using the same side of the towel. I have not flipped the towel at all. Yeah, beautiful. The main mirror here. And I'm going to work my way around the rest of the car. For now, I'm going to take a break and I'll show you the finished results once I'm finished. So we're back. I did my process over the entire vehicle, working about 3 panels at a time, give or take. And as a recap, with a rinseless wash, you have no hose. So if you look in the background, there's no hose. There's no free-flowing source of water. You have a bucket with 3 gallons of water, an ounce of our SiO2 Rinseless wash, a big gold sponge, and a Glacier 1100 drying towel. And the vehicle is finished now. It was a quick, easy way to wash my GTI in less than 30 minutes and still be completed in time for dinner. It's an eco-friendly way, and if you live in an apartment or you have water restrictions in some countries, then you don't really have a choice than to use a system like this. And if you're wondering, well, how does this compare to a waterless wash? Where does it fit in? A rinseless wash is used to clean vehicles that are too dirty for a waterless car wash. A waterless car wash is when you have a solution, you spray and wipe panel by panel. So the extra lubricity of the rinseless wash, you're really wetting the surface. It's much safer because it encapsulates dirt and grime. And the fact that my car was already wet from the filtered rainwater provided even more lubrication, and it allowed me a short window to wash the car before the week starts. So if you want to wash your car in 30 minutes or less before you start a new week, check out SiO2 Rinseless Wash by McKee's 37. We have a kit that has the big gold sponge, the Glacier towel, the bucket, and the rinseless wash. Of course, it's available at McKee's37.com. And if you like videos like this, click subscribe, turn your notifications on, click thumbs up, and of course, shop McKee's37.com. Thank you. God bless. Have a nice week.